If you have been marking your calendar, there are a little over 50 days now until Maine's June primary election.
In her final term as governor, Janet Mills is traveling the state as she makes a run for Susan Collins' seat in the U.S. Senate. Christian Harsa was following the governor around and talking with voters. He joins us now with more. Hi, Christian.
Hi, Brian and Amanda. As Graham Plattner, the oyster farmer running for U.S. Senate, continues to hold town halls in front of crowded rooms, the governor has taken a different approach. Smaller meetings with business owners, local leaders, and voters. Today, Mills drove around the Portland area having those meetings and discussions.
A coffee shop, pastry business,
like flowers come from everywhere.
wow, and a flower store.
I'm not going to lie, this year has been very challenging. Probably.
Shelley Stevens has owned Fiddleheads in Cape Elizabeth for the past 5 years. This year has been the toughest.
Tariffs have had a huge effect on our business. I do have one full-time employee.
National policy and national politics are on the mind of Stevens, and part of why her store was Governor Janet Mills' first stop on Friday. Stevens, Mills, and South Portland Mayor Elise Tipton discussed healthcare, education, and the economy.
She really understands the needs of communities.
Agreed.
The top factor in the Democratic Senate primary in the minds of Tipton and Stevens will be Mills' accomplishments.
And those accomplishments include bringing housing resources to Maine communities.
Her experience is what we need in Washington.
This November.
Internal and independent polls show Mills trailing Graham Plattner, the oyster farmer from down east. But Mills says polls are notoriously inaccurate.
The only poll I count on is the poll on June 9th.
At Verbena Coffee Shop in South Portland, Victor Tedford was eating lunch just a table over from the governor. He hasn't always voted for Mills, but he's skeptical of Plattner and believes Mills to be doing a good job.
She's been successful in doing so, and experience is earned.
Imagine what she could do for the Maine people in the U.S. Senate.
Mills also earning the support of Planned Parenthood for her record on reproductive rights. An event with the group was the final stop for her day in Cumberland County.
And I thank you for the support of Planned Parenthood Action Fund.
On Wednesday, Plattner didn't seem fazed to lose that Planned Parenthood endorsement to Mills.
There are things we disagree on. Protecting reproductive rights and the rights of women is not one of them.
Plattner has been critical of Mills' promise to run for one and only one term in the Senate. He says that is a weakness for Maine when seniority is such a valuable resource in Washington. Today, Governor Janet Mills told me that because she will only serve one term if elected, she won't be preoccupied with running for re-election and solely focused on serving those in Maine. She also said, Brian and Amanda, she isn't going to run for office while she's 84. That's the same age as Plattner's supporter, Bernie Sanders. In the studio, Christian Harsa, News Center, Maine.